And welcome to Vlogmas. In the spirit of Vlogmas, I have picked up a few festive reads. Now, I've never read anything like these two books before. They're very new to me, and I don't know anybody else who has read them either. I did this on a blind search, so I was not influenced to purchase these books at all. I did do a little bit of research before I purchased them. Honestly, there's tons of books out there on these subjects, but I really wanted to make sure that I was purchasing something that I was interested in and not something that I would be heavily influenced on pop culture. All right, so what books have I found? Well, these two. Now, these are brand new. They are soft. I just saw the back of this one. Like, aren't they cute? Oh my gosh. That's a whole nother story. Yeah, so I have these two festive books. The first one is called The Krampus and the Old Dark Christmas Roots and Rebirth of the Folkloric Devil. This book is by Ridenour. Forgive me if I mispronunciate that. The cover is phenomenal. I love the profile. I love the detail of it. And then the back, of course, they're adorable, but they're also terrifying. And this isn't a very thick book, but let me read the back of it, and hopefully you'll see why I was interested in this one. The Krampus, a folkloric devil associated with St. Nicholas in Alpine Austria and Germany, is now becoming part of the American Christmas. But the old world from which he comes knew a very different holiday, one haunted by ghosts, witches, devilish horsemen, murderous incantations of Catholic saints, and the demonic Perchen? Sorry if I say that wrong. And witch-like Frau Percha, known for disemboweling naughty children. Oh, this is my kind of book. Even the church once celebrated this holiday with plays depicting the devil, Antichrist, and Herod's gory massacre of the innocents. Together, these strange winter traditions gave birth to a monster now more popular than ever, the Krampus. That sounds great. Oh, there are color pictures. This is my first time I'm looking into this book, to be completely honest. I love this. So let's check out the table of contents. I love how there's a map at the beginning, so that's excellent. Let's see. Towns and landmarks introduction. Excellent. It just talks about the beginning of the origins. There's this book just kind of like introducing you what the inside looks like. There are a lot of contemporary, modern, not black and white, oh god, color picture. Oh, that's terrifying. Looks like he's about to be beheaded, but hey, he must have been very naughty. As well as very earthy, early, almost lithographs, probably tintypes maybe. There are actual lithographs in here. I did see that. And oh, there's a good question. It asks Celtic or Germanic goddesses. I love that. So it seems that it does follow the origin stories of an evil being that kind of sidetracked or was a partner in crime with St. Nicholas. And it looks like they kind of go through all the different beliefs from different regions and kind of like, I would assume, join them together at the end. Ooh, I love... What is that? That is a beautiful Asgard Riders. Beautiful, gorgeous, 1872. Okay. Why not? This is really cool. Okay, so there's bells, there's all kinds of... Oh, they show like early depictions of Krampus, and of course modern day depictions of Krampus. I'm sure you've seen the Krampus parade in Austria on all the different shapes of the different Krampus that are Krampi. Is that what you say? I don't know. That's just me being silly. But they look very familiar. I really enjoy watching that parade go off. I've never seen it in person. I've seen YouTube videos, but that would be definitely something I would like to go and experience in real life. So yeah, this looks great. This is definitely more of a historical account. And I would presume there are, I hope there are references to some sort of folklore, origin books and stories where they reference, and you can go back and you can read those full ones, because I'm really interested in just reading the actual text. But we'll see. I think this looks like a really good, like, all-encompassing introduction to Krampus, and introducing it to people like me, Americans who are curious about the folklore and not really understanding a lot of where it comes from. But from what I do understand in general, it's a relatively newer concept. So this isn't some, maybe not, I'm not sure. This could be something from, you know, early 500s, maybe. I don't think so, but you just don't know how old a lot of these traditions and whatnot are, because a lot of what was passed down was not exactly like written or presented in a depiction or drawing. Sometimes it was, but it could have just been told through verbal communication. So anyways, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It looks like one of those, I don't want to say a coffee table book, but not something that you have to read front to back all the time. You just go back and reference it. So I think I'll definitely be looking forward to referencing this kind of spooky holiday season book. All right, excellent. On to the next. Book 2 is The Old Magic of Christmas, Yuletide Traditions for the Darkest Days of the Year by Linda Raedisch. Ooh, I'm so sorry if I butcher this name. I have not heard it pronunciated before. So the back does say, "'Tis the season for witches, elves, and a legion of ghosts. Not so very long ago, Yuletide was as much of a chilling season of ghosts and witches as it was a festival of goodwill. In the old magic of Christmas, you'll rub elbows with veiled spirits, learn the true perils of elves, and discover a bestiary of enchanted creatures. Rife with the more frightful creatures from folklore and the season's most petulant ghosts, this book takes you on a spooky sleigh ride from the silvered firs of a wintered forest to the mirrored halls of the Snow Queen. Along the way, you'll discover how to bring the festivities into your home with cookie recipes, craft instructions, as well as tips for delving more deeply into your relationship with the unseen." This is amazing. Cookies, yes. Crafts, I loved getting crafty. This sounds like a lot of fun. And again, I'm going to skim through this. So the other book did not appear to have a table of contents. This one does. Okay. So it does start with 1,000 Years of Winter, Home with the Elves, Dead by Christmas Morning, ooh, Riders on White Horses, that just sounds like the Wild Hunt, Creatures of Forest and Mountain, Scandinavian Household Sprite, Reindeer Games, A Christmas Bestiary, Winter's Bride, There Are Witches in the Air, Dark Spirits of Hearth and Home, and A Christmas Witch's Herbal. Oh, cool. It does talk about the different plants like mistletoe, juniper, holly, ivy, lingonberry. I love lingonberry. Oh my gosh. Christmas roses. What are those? Oh my gosh, it's mentioned like 3 times, Christmas rose. Okay, sorry, I had to have a moment because I am thinking about, I refuse to think about my garden this time of year right now because I can't, it breaks my heart because there's like absolutely nothing alive in it right now. All right, so they are mentioning Christmas rose 3 times. Definitely have to make a note of that one. And the apple tree, which again, curious because apples here in the Midwest, apple trees, I don't think they're able to survive and bear fruit and whatnot. So this book does mention the Snow Queen, and that is a story from Hans Christian Andersen that I've never read. Of course, I'm a huge fan of The Little Mermaid. I'm sure a lot of us are, whoever grew up with Disney. But the Snow Queen, I know, has been remade into several movies, and again, I really want to read like the original texts, right? We all have like the Disney and like the regurgitated forms, but I've never actually read the true ones. So perhaps I'll pick that one up too for the season, depending on how quickly I can run through these. This is not a very pictorial book as the other one was. Ooh, the Yuletide people. That's cool. Oh, this is cool. It's a sacrificial reindeer ornament. Yes, absolutely yes. The horns of Abbots Bromley. That's really cool. Up until about 1660, reindeer were an integral part of the Christmas season in the Staffordshire village of Abbots Bromley. Since then, the Abbots Bromley horn dance has been held in early September, but in the 16th century, it was performed at New Year's and Epiphany. At that time, possibly earlier, the 6 pairs of antlers were set in carved wooden heads, 3 painted red, 3 white, the heraldic colors of the village's most prominent families. The colors have since changed, but when not in use, the antlers are still kept in St. Nicholas Church. That's really cool. A sacrificial reindeer ornament? I bet you that's one of the crafts. Oh yeah, yep. There's before and there's after. Ooh, I like that. And it does have the instructions on what to do. And this is pretty cool. So it's part folklore, part crafts. This is really, really cool. Oh, gingerbread house. The name of the chapter is called There Are Witches in the Air. And there's like a whole like DIY of your own little gingerbread house. To be fair, I've actually never built a gingerbread house too. I'm not fond of gingerbread unless it's like, I don't know what it's called in English. Danish, I'm sure, I forget, the name escapes me, but it was like a spongy gingerbread. It wasn't like hard and crunchy and weird. It was very spongy, and it's really good if you dip it in your coffee or cafe. But yeah, this looks really good. Although I don't know how like effective I would be in making a gingerbread cake or gingerbread cookie thing with my allergies, but maybe I can figure something out. Oh, and this is a Christmas witch's herbal. Excellent. Juniper, holly, mistletoe. And it kind of tells you like what to do. Oh, Christmas Rose 1. It references hellebores. The second one is Anastatica. Interesting. Maybe I'm saying that incorrectly. Probably am. I have not heard of that one. Christmas Rose, Rosa alba. And then the apple tree, Malus domestica. I feel like I need to brush up on my Latin and like other languages because I feel like there's a lot of references and maybe not. Oh gosh, like it's all over the place. Very cool. Okay, so there is a glossary, which is really lovely for a book that's like this because yeah, I want to know what things mean, a reference, and that's really great. Kind of in like the context in which these words are referenced here in this book. And of course, yay, my fave, a bibliography. Yes, that's a thick one too. Cool. So it has all of the original texts. Like I said, it was always interesting to see like these. I feel like this is more of like a compendium. Not a compendulum. I like books like this and as well as this Krampus book because they're introductory, right? These aren't true, like, I mean, they're true, but they're not like the entirety of the folklore that is going on. They're not all of the original texts, However, they reference the originals, which is lovely because then you can just get those, add them to your collection as you want at your discretion. But this is great. I'm really looking forward to looking into these and seeing what's in them. That's pretty cool. Excellent book mail for the season. So it's been a couple of hours and I have been reading The Old Magic of Christmas, Yuletide Traditions for the Darkest Days of the Year, and I really like it. I just wanted to give you some initial first impression. I'm using it as a bookmark. One of the passages has to do, it's called Blacker Than Pitch, and it talks about St. Nicholas, another rider on a white horse. So St. Nicholas rode a white horse, and it talks about how he's dressed, but more importantly, he never goes anywhere without his sidekick Zwart Piet, or Black Peter, whose job it is to stuff naughty children in his sack and carry them off to Spain. Apparently, a sunny trip to Catholic Spain was akin to a sojourn in purgatory. Well, that's awful. Spain's really pretty. And the passage goes on, and it says, it is Black Peter's job to go up and down the sooty chimneys to fill the children's shoes so that St. Nicholas won't soil his costly bishop's robes. Interesting. And there's one more I want to just share, and it's called The Bells of St. Nicholas. So whenever you see like Santa, I know the Salvation Army, like jingling their bells outside, there's a small bit of the passage says, the wearing of bells and other jangling things is a universal means of protecting the wearer from evil or simply opportunistic spirits. So it's actually a form of protection, which is interesting. So yeah, I'm about not quite halfway through this book, and it's fun. You know, this is a really fun read. I would not call this a lighthearted read. It is a little bit more academic than I anticipated it to be, which is fine. I'm not mad about that in any way, shape, or form. This is definitely a book, in the way that it's set up, you can set it down and just pick it up when you are kind of like more of a mood reader, saying you want to take a break from your normal fiction or whatever, or your nonfiction, and you just kind of want to pick up something like seasonal. Everything is split into sections and subsections so that you don't have to be continuous in reading this book. You can just do small bits and pieces here and there as you feel. So far I like it. I do recommend you pick it up if you are looking for something that is traditional Christmas but not as like commercial Christmas, right? This is where it all came from. So I do recommend picking up this book if you want something a little bit more this time of year. And to be honest, I have not even opened this Krampus book yet, which I will. I love the feel. It has such a great like tactileness to it. I love it. It feels like a textbook, to be honest. I have this really great book called A Brief History of the Medieval Ages. Last name of the author is Rosenwein, but it's the same kind of like book, pages and the texture, and it's really, really great. This I would say is definitely more a supplemental reading to some sort of class that you would take in like college or something. So that's what I like about this one. Anyway, so I'm really looking forward to reading this, and of course I want to get through the rest of this. So if you haven't already or you're interested, my first thoughts are yes, go ahead and pick these two up. If you really enjoy, I don't want to say the occult, if you enjoy like dark folklore, highly recommend so far picking these up. Of course, as I get through these, I will keep you posted on my thoughts and feelings about them. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and kind of chat about festive reads that are not super story-driven fiction. So I have yet to pick up any kind of romantic-y seasonal stuff. I am not into romance holiday fiction. Just straight up telling you now, I am not the person. I will have a glass or 3 of wine and I'll watch a trashy Hallmark holiday movie if I'm feeling it, which is highly rare. It just does not really happen. It happened once last year, and I really don't want to do it again. So this is definitely more my cup of tea, and yeah, you should pick these up. And if you are reading them or have read them, let me know what you think. I want to know, do you do any of the crafts in here? Are there any traditional, like, dark folkloric Christmas time Yuletide traditions that you and maybe your family follows? I really want to know. That'd be awesome. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this mini video on festive reads for the season that I've picked up, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.